over.
But it was well worth it.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. I know we've been kind of MIA a little bit. A whole lot of moving parts going on, but we missed you guys and we felt like we should put this video out.
Yeah, and we're in a new spot. We are not in the RV. We will talk about that later. More.
Yeah, this is like Casa de Blanco right here.
And it's kind of wild. Like, to you guys, it probably seems just kind of like, whoa, where did this come from? You guys are stopping RV life. You just renovated an RV. Why are you leaving RV life? And we wanted to share that with you guys. Just a couple of reasons why we left RV life, what's been going on, and just update you guys.
Yes, if you're feeling like, you know, where's it coming from? Kathleen gets messages all the time about, why would you sell the RV? Why don't you guys just keep it? This and that. We're gonna get down to the nitty gritty about why we're not gonna keep our gigantic fifth wheel to become like just a weekend rig or going to national parks here and there. It's just so many things that I feel like once we discuss in this video, if you watch to the end, you'll have the better understanding, and it'll kind of like bring down your messages that you're getting about the RV.
Yeah, and that's our whole goal with this whole channel, with everything that we've ever shared about RV life, is to keep it real and to still encourage if you know, if you feel like RV life is right for you, but to just share where we're coming from and our thought process, and to just encourage but also educate at the same time.
Definitely. I feel like there's a lot of common misconceptions about RV life and just other things that you may be searching on YouTube, and the whole story isn't told, or like the perspective of why decisions are made aren't told.
Yeah. And
we just tell our side of what we're thinking as much as you would need to know, right?
Right. So. Right. We still have a personal life outside of YouTube, and that's super important to us, is to have that, to have, you know, our life outside of the internet. Oh, yeah. Although we do share our life on the internet, we do have a personal life, but we want to be here to, again, educate and share. And share and encourage. So let's get into this. First, we just want to talk about like what we even expected from RV life. So if you're new here, we actually left in 2019 in a travel trailer, and we traveled for almost a year, and then the pandemic happened, and then we were kind of at our home base for almost a year, and then we left again. So we've been on and off full-time RVing for almost 4 years. So we have been doing this before everything went crazy and after. And so I think that really helps to share just both experiences and that we had.
And when we did have to come, you know, kind of park full-time RV living because of the shutdowns and stuff like that, we had a plan to transition into another RV. So we didn't stop because we per se wanted to. It was more so like just looking at what was going on, the different lockdowns and the experiences that we were having.
Yeah, when we came back from the first time, when we came back from traveling.
Yes, and so we were looking at those and we were like, okay, well, you know, we kind of experienced national parks this way and like going to different states this way, and they're kind of changing things because a lot was unknown, and a lot was unknown to us. So we kind of came back to refocus how we were gonna go back out.
Yeah. So when we first left, I don't know, what was your like main expectation? We left because I feel like a lot of the reasons why so many of you guys potentially watching this are leaving, because you're caught up in the rat race. You don't get to see your family much, or maybe someone, you know, something life altering has happened, and so you're like, life's too short, let's just do it.
Sure.
And that was kind of where we were at. And no, we're not getting back into the rat race. We're gonna talk about that later. So, but we were just tired of not seeing each other, really.
Yeah, I feel like in general, depending on your background, you get caught up in like growing professions, growing a family, acquiring things, chasing these goals, right? Yeah. Everyone has a goal of something, whatever that is measurable to you. You get caught up in that, and then you realize, if you can soon enough, you realize like we're missing out on the small things that bring your family together. Dinner at the table every night. I know I used to work a job where I worked in the evening, so we never had dinner at the table, and then when we did, it was the one Sunday a week. And you know, kids in public school, someone was always missing for some reason, because we were all trying to chase our goals that we wanted. But kind of sitting down and seeing things, looking outside of the situation, you're like, okay, if we had less of this and that, I could be home more. Or if we weren't doing so many activities and so many little mini vacations, micro getaways. Yeah,
and like, or the same vacation every year.
The same type of vacation
for 1 week.
For 7 days or like 2 weeks, depending on if you have to drive or if you're flying.
Yeah.
And then coming back and being like, whew, we had a great time, but let's go back to the real world.
Yes, it was always that, okay, back to reality, vacation's over,
the last day of vacation, it's always like, it's bittersweet because you're like, man, I really could get used to this, but then you're like, oh man, Monday I'm gonna have to go back into that, back into the grind. But so we just kind of took the steps needed to get to where life could feel like somewhat of vacation more, even though you're still gonna have goals, you're still gonna have bills and family stuff going on that you're gonna have to take care of. It's just you being in control of that, not like, hey, my boss is telling me they need me in for overtime for this and that. Yeah,
so we expected to be together more, right? Yes. That's what we expected out of RV life. That was our goal with RVing, was just to be together.
Yes, best case scenario. And we started to become debt free. That was a major step in that. And I would encourage anybody, even if you're not like a financially analytical person like myself, the closer you can get to obtaining like debt freedom, that is your freedom.
It will eliminate so many stressors.
So many stressors, so many decisions having to be made. You can,
and we're speaking from experience.
Yes, you have time. Yes. It's not I have to do this and I have to take this high paying of a job. You can take a job that is more comfortable for you, that fits your schedule better. Just things like that.
So the next thing, I guess the next question would be, what did we actually get out of RV life?
Are you gonna show them a little bit about our experiences that we got out of it?
So we've had, it's a roller coaster, but I always say it's the best, it's like the best one that we could have ever gone on.
For sure.
And we went through a lot.
Yeah, I would say it was like anything you've never done before. Right? Yeah. You go into it expecting one thing, and I'm a super pessimist at times, so I go into it understanding what's the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah, for me, I don't think I thought it was gonna be like we're just gonna be singing Kumbaya around a campfire like every night. I don't think I thought that, but I didn't expect to like learn so much so fast.
Yes.
You got to learn so many things, But the other side of that is you start to work together as a team. Your family becomes like a for real like team, a unit. Like we got this, we can do this. And then you also have those like peaks where like everything is amazing. We just went on this epic adventure.
Yep.
We went and saw things like that we never would see if we had to plan a vacation, because we would only be able to pick one thing. Like we've been able to do and see in just that short amount of time, which was less than a year, to be honest, when we were traveling full-time, not just being stationary full-time in an RV. We were able to do and have like the vacations of like 10 years.
At least 10 years worth of like your typical 1 week vacations at a park. And we were more entwined with the surrounding areas, because you can meet people who are local and they can tell you, hey, go here, go here. When you're on a vacation, you've done all your cliff notes, you got maybe your itinerary set up, and you're like, we're going here, 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 here. And then we have to start getting back on the road or back to the airport by this time. And you don't get that, like how we went to Montrose, Colorado. And
like so random, all these like random adventures.
Yeah, went to like a market and met locals who were like, yeah, they do this market outside in the summer and then it goes inside in the winter. And like just the little knick-knacky things that you would have to know someone in that town to experience. And that was like, that's priceless, because you're learning stuff and like going through experiences the same time as your children. And that, like, I don't know, that's special, and that's something that you may not get in a home unless you're super intentional about it.
You really do, and we'll talk about that later. I feel like that should be another video on its own, like just the differences between coming from an RV to a house now, being as opposed to like living in a house and going to an RV. And the other thing that I didn't expect was this community and like all the people. So, okay, so before, when we started RV Life, RV Instagram, it was not a thing.
It was not a thing, no.
It was not a thing.
The comments were trolls like crazy. And like, you guys are homeless, this and that.
Which is still kind of, but not really.
No, it's kind of, it's glorified now almost to where it's like it's almost like its own little, for lack of a better words, like cult, but it's a community. To where like, people are aspiring to sell their homes. Yes,
literally everyone we talked to lately. It is wild. Like before it was like, you're doing what? You're going where?
What are you gonna do with your kids?
What in the world?
Homeschool money. What about your family? Like, are your kids? I had people literally ask me at an old job that I had, like, are you not scared that moving your kids and shuffling them around the country in an RV is gonna affect them in an adverse way? And I'm like, no, because it's exposure. They're going to be exposed to different things. And they're going to see how different people live all over, to where they're not going to be in fear of like, hey, I want to move somewhere. They're not going to feel like I can only live in these 30 square miles of my family and where I'm from.
And so now it's like, it's normalized, right? It's like, okay, you're gonna do that? That's awesome. Not like, whoa, what, huh? I'm sure some people-
It's way more encouraged now.
Yeah, some people are still like that, but for the most part, because it's, you see it so much.
Yes.
It's become normal.
I don't remember her name, but we had a neighbor at our last RV resort that we were at, and her family, her kids, and her friends were actually pushing her to do full-time RVing and travel the country for a year. And she finally got to her breaking point to where she was like, I just sold everything and did it. And everyone was happy for me, where it was like, when I broke it to my parents, my mom was like, are you guys okay?
You're gonna leave a stable paying job?
Like you're gonna leave your job and like your dream house and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't think we value those things anymore.
No, and that's really what it comes down to. And the other thing I wasn't expecting, besides all the things we've learned and all the places we've gone and all the people we've met, is how much it will change you as a person. I think you get so caught up in, like we were talking about earlier, you get so caught up in just the going and the doing and all the things of the world. But when you RV life, when you do RV life, it's like you're pulled out of that and you are looking into it from the outside, and you're like, we used to care about that? We used to want to do that? Why did we ever care about having this giant house, 2 brand new cars, going here, doing that? Like, it doesn't matter. And at least that's how I feel, that's how we feel. It puts into perspective like what is really important and what you really need. Like we're sitting here in our house, and no, we did not buy a house.
No.
We're sitting here in our house, and it's like some of the things that we had in the RV we have here, but like we don't have a lot of furniture. We have stuff that my mom let us have from her house, and we're like perfectly fine.
Yeah, we have the essentials.
Yes.
So like we're not on like milk cartons.
Yeah.
We don't have, before, you know, we had this giant house with like a loft and like an office and a living room and like
we
a
gotta fill all these spaces. Like in our house now is smaller than the first house we got when we first got our first house. We bought our first house and had one kid and then 2 kids.
And even now, like the house, as we get other things that are needed, it's like, man, I don't know if we'll ever fill this house up. Because like,
okay guys, interrupting this video really quick to tell you about today's sponsor. It is RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding. If you didn't already know, we love RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding. So much so that we had to do ninja skills to get it out of our RV because it was that good. And it couldn't stay in the RV, it had to come home with us. So I think I have a picture of Joseph getting it out of the RV, and it's kind of hilarious. So if you didn't know, RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding not only makes mattresses for RVs in all different kinds of shapes, sizes, and firmness, they also make the same mattresses for your home. And this is a California King that we are on currently, and they make twin, queen, king, California King, so it works just as well in a home. And like I said, it had to come with us. They offer a 120-day sleep trial. If you're not loving it, which you're gonna love it, you can send it back. They offer free shipping, 10-year warranty, and it is made right here in the USA, actually in Arizona where we came from. If you guys are interested in purchasing one of your own, just use the code FAITHBOUNDTRAVEL for 20% off your order, and you guys will have the best sleep in your life. All right, back to the video.
That's one thing I feel like I learned with RVing is you don't need every little knick-knack trinket that like, man, like I used to get in these weird like moods to where I'll start like having an interest in a hobby or something, and then I need all of the things that go with it. And like, I want the most expensive stuff, and I want like the cheaper stuff. I want to be able to try it all. And then you get out of the hobby, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna sell it. And we have this weird like, we're not big into like selling things for the highest amount. We're like, as long as we just...
Yes, we're done with it.
Yeah, we're done with it. As long as we can give it to someone who's gonna utilize it, that's like more of our thing. Like, we don't really care about making a huge profit or making a profit out of this. We just wanted to get it to someone who's gonna use it. So now it's like, I don't even need that. Like, that's interesting. Maybe I'll go rent it and check it out. But I'm not gonna go buy it and then buy all the stuff that comes with it.
Yeah, because you realize like what all that is holding you back from, just like being able to go places and do other things instead of like just paying for where you stay. You know what I mean? And so now comes the question, the big question everyone's asking. I've gotten this question a lot. Would you recommend it? Why are you leaving RV life?
Right.
I feel like that's two questions,
so,
but they go together.
So I'll let you start and you tell everybody why you feel this time frame and what's going on in the world and like the outside world and your personal world that you're ready for this transition. Yeah,
so if you didn't know, Joseph has been ready for this transition for a while, and I was the one who was like, no, we're staying in the RV forever. It's not happening. We're always gonna be in an RV. But at the end of the day, there's a season for everything. Like, I truly believe there's a season for everything. There's a lot of people getting into RV life, and will it be forever? I don't know. Is it for everyone? No. That's what it comes down to. There's no big like, you know, juicy secret or like whatever as to why we're leaving RV life. It's a timing thing, and we believe that this is where God wants our family, and so that's what we're doing. We're just kind of, you know, following that, and it seems crazy to a lot of people because we did just renovate the RV and it seemed like it came out of nowhere. There's a season for everything, and yes, in an RV, your home is on wheels and you can move it wherever you want to, which is amazing. One of the reasons why we loved it so much. But it also allowed us to figure out kind of where we want to be. And so that's why we are settled. Will we forever be settled in one place for the rest of our lives? Probably not. That's just not us. But in this season and state of things in the world, we just feel like we want to be more settled and raise our kids up. And yes, we're still homeschooling, and just have a place where we have a home base and we can have, you know, a solid home base.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give my 2 cents.
Yeah, he's very analytical, and it's kind of weird. He has like this weird thing where he like he like watches, he can see trends a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just weird. So anytime now, in the beginning of our marriage, I was like, no, we're not doing that. But now it's like, yeah, whatever. What do we gotta do? What are we doing? Because most of the time it's like, he's just weird like that, okay? He can just see things coming.
Right? Well, so no, I'm not like a fortune teller or anything.
No.
I'm a Christian, so of course I'm more led to whatever God has for us.
Yeah.
But yes, I pay attention.
That's
what
the
I
thing,
would
yeah.
say. I say I pay attention to what's going on, trends. Yeah. I'm a researcher by nature, very analytical. Mm-hmm. And the biggest secret that I would tell you guys is there's timing for everything.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
We've always been kind of like moving at the beat of our own drum as far as like what's going on in the world to what we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. So timing for us is always what seems to be like off kilter or off trend.
Yeah.
But we generally always end up right where we need to be. So I look at trends like that. I'm seeing different, you see different trends of how popular things are becoming, mm-hmm. how the RV community is changing. How weekend RVers are changing to the older generation of RVers, retirees, and then now your average families that are starting to get into RVing. And then you start seeing, because we've been in these RV resorts and RV parks and like destinations for so long, you're seeing how the market is trending for them because mm-hmm. it's becoming more popular. Yeah. It's becoming more expensive. They're changing their rules.
Yeah, it's harder to get places.
Yeah, a lot of things are changing.
Yeah.
And then just personally, me and Kathleen had this conversation of like living on wheels. Mm-hmm. We have commitment issues, right?
Yes.
To where like
that really was it.
If something in the town changes or like to where it affects things that we enjoy, we're like, you know what?
Peace out.
Let's move to a different town. And like the area that we're in, we have a lot of traction. Before, when we were down in southern central Texas, we had found like an amazing church home and like amazing church.
That was
home,
like
right?
one of the hardest things to leave. Honestly.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Kathleen and the kids found homeschool groups of other believers with families and kids who were like in different areas. Some people lived in homes, some people were aspiring to go into an RV. A lot of people lived in RVs mm-hmm. already.
Yeah.
It was just great. And then I had found like different groups of friends. I was getting traction in my business mm-hmm. and just doing different things, right? And I was feeling in my heart like, okay, we can stay in the RV and I will always have these feelings of like, let's go.
Yeah.
Because you're in an RV, you're like, I don't want to sit here any longer.
Why
like,
not?
Let's go.
Yes.
But I'm like,
well, diesel prices.
We really, right? You have those type of things. Those are the trends that you have to pay attention to. Economic trends, social trends, things like that. But I'm really thinking like, okay, we should just put our stake in the ground here where we're at. Because everything here is where we don't really need to be looking outside of here for anything. Everything we need is right here.
It's funny though,
communities are already built
because
here.
Where we're at, we're still in Texas, but where we're at, I was like, we both were like, actually, we could never live here. That's what we said.
No,
we could never live
here.
here.
We came through this town
It's
before,
too small of a town.
And like, we were like, no.
Yeah.
But we were coming, in my mind, we were coming from a more fast-paced area in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
To where this pace of living, I was like, nah. Not gonna be able to do it.
And now we're like
too slow.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I don't want anything else actually. Like
no, it's perfect.
Everything about it, it fits us.
Yeah.
And timing, like I said, timing is everything. Yeah. So there's no big reason why we're like, oh, we're just done with RVing.
No.
Because
there's no saltiness.
We're still gonna travel, and we actually still have plans to get a different type of RV.
Yes. I feel like once you RV, you cannot ever
not have an RV.
Right? It's just gonna be different.
Yeah, I have no bias against it at all. I just feel like where we're at, the timing is right for us to transition, and the market is right to sell an RV.
Exactly.
And, just everything lines up to where like even this rental that we found, like steal of a deal on a brand new home. So it's like you have to do what's best for you and your family. I would always encourage that.
Yes. So if RVing right now is what is best for your family,
do it.
Do it.
Do it.
100,000,000%.
If
do
getting
it.
out
It
of,
has changed
getting
us.
out of it is right for your family.
For the best.
Then get out. Like do your thing.
Don't be scared of what people are gonna say, or because such and such is trending right now, and you wanna, whatever, you wanna start a YouTube channel about it, because there's a lot of RV YouTube channels, like
for sure.
And just do what's best for your family.
And I feel like, of course, right now with the whole what's going on in the world, everyone's looking at finances heavy, right? And rightfully so.
Yeah.
But your mental health is always more important than your finance in my mind, because you can't go out and earn a living for your family if mentally you're in a spot where you're just bummed out, you're just done. And I wasn't done with RVing, but I felt like it was time to take that step, I'm like, babe, it's time to take that step,
To commit.
We should commit to an area, because everything we have is right here. Staying in the RV, yes, it seems like you can make you can save a ton of money, but I'm like, we can kind of make break even with this
and that's the other
and still be settled
big misconception, is that RVing is cheap. Like we've talked about it in another, I think our station.
Are we gonna segue into that?
What?
In this video, like
what?
The misconceptions of full-time RVing, or are we not? We're gonna keep the video somewhat short.
Well, it's not really short, but maybe we'll do another video about that.
Yes,
so if you want us to do another video about that,
comment below and
because I know he's got a lot of thoughts.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of thoughts.
I pay attention to trends, so
So like this video, comment on this video, and just let us know, and we would love to talk about it.
What's something, if you're looking into getting into RVing, what's something that you're seeing that you feel you're very excited about? Put that in the comments below, and we'll pick out of those topics, and we'll say if that's a common misconception, or if those are things that are really attainable.
Oh, like assumptions about RV life.
Yeah.
There we go.
That'll be a pretty cool video.
So that's the tea, you guys. That's what's going on, and this is not about we said update, but it's not about what's next for us, because honestly we're just winging it. We don't know 1,000,000% what's next.
I can't tell the future.
No,
I don't think we're winging it. We do almost everything off of research and where our family is looking to go.
Research, faith, and I just mean winging it in the sense that we don't have a for sure plan. Like when people ask, so why are you getting out of RV life? What are you doing next? I don't know. We have a couple of things that we're talking about, but
people that really know us, they know. Don't ever try to pick what way we're going, because
it's always changing.
It can always change. Like we are go with the flow. I think RV life taught us that, to be more go with the flow and just roll with the punches. Don't try to plan out. That's my thing. I try to plan out the next 10 to 15 years, and you just can't do those things. And before, I was really into I'm gonna control what's going on, and you can't. You got to roll with what's going at the time.
Where God takes you. So, okay, one last thing. If you've watched this this far in the video, then you get a say. And we're thinking about changing our channel name. I don't know exactly the direction that this channel is gonna go. We still wanna just be here to educate and encourage. And just kind of bring you along whatever in the world we're doing. So we're thinking about changing it. You came up with our name now, and he came up with our name again.
Right.
So
if the name changes, it's probably gonna be another one that I just...
Yeah, so if we change it, we're thinking about having it changed to, I just wrote it down because I forgot already. Faith-Bound Family Adventures. So if you like that, let me know.
Yeah, comment below.
Yeah, because we're just, I don't know, it's just a thought right now. Right now, we still have travel plans in the future, but it's not going to be the focus of our channel anymore.
Yeah.
So.
It's mostly going to be like, we say adventures because our daily life is probably like a whole adventure to someone.
Life is wild.
Yes, we just enjoy it. There's a lot going on, dude. We're gonna enjoy life.
Yeah, life's too short.
But yeah, so if you made it this far in the video, you're the real MVP. You should hit the like, you should comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And again, this is Faith Bound Travel, and we love you guys. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.